So issues that I faced that led me down the path of addiction. So I grew up in church, and then I was mid-20s, and I was pretty angry at God. My life wasn't going the way that I thought it should. I was serving the Lord, or so I thought, and it wasn't working out the way I wanted to. And in the face of some disappointments, some letdowns that I thought God had let me down, I turned to things that I knew I shouldn't turn to, but I was in a place of being angry at God. So I thought, well, if God was wrong, quote unquote, in one area, well, maybe there's other areas that I can explore, or God was wrong in. And so I turned to those things instead of turning to God. And in doing that, I got temporary satisfaction. I got some temporary relief to my frustrations, my depression, and the things I was facing. But that pulled me deeper down into more and more addiction, more and more things that didn't truly help the situation. Ever since I was a kid, I like to kind of escape. I love to read books. I love to play video games, just even things to distract. And I don't think those were bad things, but when that became my sole pursuit of distractions and escapes, addiction became an escape that I lived for. I didn't just have a time to escape. I lived for that escape, and I lived for that addiction. Went through various programs and did the program, then got out of the program and would be okay for a while, and kind of was in that cycle of knowing I needed to change, but unable to fulfill that change, complete that change. So I found myself in 2021 at a place where I was desperate again. I had fallen off the wagon and had used again, and was with some family friends, and they had taken me in and said, "We love you, but something needs to change. You need to do something." And the last thing I wanted to do was apply to another program, especially a year-long program. I'd already done a year-long program that wasn't Heartland, and I was like, am I gonna waste another year of my life just to go back to this? And that was my fear, that was my concern, that was my hesitation. And they said, well, just apply. You don't have to go, but at least do something, at least make a step in a direction, but do something. You can't just sit here on the couch. And so I did. I applied and figured I'd give it a try. What made the biggest difference in my life? For me, I've always struggled with relationships. I'm an introvert by nature. I like to be by myself, and I don't have many close friends. And I use the excuse of my personality to not have relationships with people. And so over the last year, I've definitely learned the value of relationships, found some freedom in opening up to people, found some courage from God to be able to share things that are deep inside, but that need to be shared. The people in the Men's Center and just in Heartland in general have been really open and loving and willing to listen and willing to not be surprised by the things that I struggle with, the things that I deal with, because I think there's the stigma of, if I share this, then they're going to look at me different, or people are going to treat me differently. And maybe that's the case in other places, but I know at Heartland and at the Men's Center and the people that I've lived with for the last year, that's not the case. They love me and they want the best for me, and they've supported me through this year. And so learning the value of relationships and learning to be vulnerable with people has been probably one of the biggest parts of my journey over the last year. I definitely feel that God is redeeming my life, and redeeming not in the sense of giving it back. I think there's part of that, but in the sense of making it better than it was before. Certain dreams, certain aspirations that I had many, many years ago, I feel like God's reminded me of those things and said, hey, those aren't gone. Yes, you've messed up, you've made some bad decisions, and you have to face the consequences of those decisions. But I'm giving you those back, and I'm giving them back to you better than they were before. So to encourage someone who may be in a similar situation, maybe considering jumping into Heartland or jumping into a program, it doesn't even have to be Heartland, but I was at a place where I didn't really have any other hope. There wasn't any hope, and so I had nothing to lose by giving it a try. The worst that's gonna happen is you're gonna be the same. That's the worst thing that's gonna happen by coming and giving it a try. It's amazing if you're willing to try, if you're willing to come and really commit to doing it, then I believe and know that God's gonna meet you, just like he met me and just like he's met countless other men and women who have come through the programs. God's gonna meet you. It's gonna take some effort on your part. You're gonna have to give up things. You're gonna have to be uncomfortable. But uncomfortable is part of change. We've done so many hard, difficult, uncomfortable things in the pursuit of our addictions. How much more can we pursue and go through hard things to get out of that addiction?